Okay, in this video, we're going to look at just your basic understanding of straight lines. So if you watched all the videos and all the series, you should be able to look at these straight lines and plot them there, but just do it without any, let's say, doing any calculations. So this is just seeing whether you kind of have a rough idea of what we're doing. I don't think this will ever be asked like this in an IG exam, but it's very nice for you to visually know what's going on when you see straight lines, because straight lines, you can just look at them when they're in standard form and you should be able to have a very good idea of what they look like on the Cartesian plane. So we're going to start with a very important line, which is y is x. Now, I know you're used to y is mx plus c, and in this case we have y is 1x, but we don't have a plus anything, so it's plus 0. So this line tells me it obviously goes through the origin, which is right over there. But again, y is equal to x is also a special line because the gradient is 1, and in this case all the values, the x and y coordinates will always be the same. So if I look at this, let me just explain y is, I know I said we'll just draw these off the bat, but this is a very important line, so let me just quickly explain. So in this case, y is equal to x, so 1 and 1, the coordinates are the same there, and 2 and 2, and 3 and 3, and this is negative 1, negative 2. So you get the idea. So this line, y is equal to x, is going to be a diagonal line, 45 degrees, and it's going to go through the origin, and that is y is equal to x. So you should be able to draw that without even doing calculations, no method, whatever, just kind of in your head know it's going to be a diagonal line, 45 degrees. There we go. Now the next one is y is equal to x plus 1. Now, because the x has a 1 in front of it, we didn't write the 1, but I know the gradient is 1, so it's going to be very much similar to this gradient, because this gradient was also 1, but there's one difference, it's plus 1. So this line, these two lines are going to be parallel to one another, and this is going to be 1. So just kind of a rough idea. Obviously, if this was negative 1, this would have been moved down and would have gone through negative 1 there. Okay, so those two were pretty simple. The next one is y is equal to 2x plus 1. So I know by the plus 1, it's going to go through that line as well, or that point, but the gradient tells me if this gradient is 1, a steeper gradient would be more, and a smaller gradient, like a fraction, would be less. So because this is 2, obviously this is just a rough draft, but it can't be on that line. It has to be a steeper gradient. So I'm going to guess it's going to be, oh, I just missed that. Oh my goodness, totally missed that. Okay, let me just fix that. Oh my goodness. You had one job. There we go. It should go through there. I'll just fix my x coordinate here. And just my previous line. Again, this is just a rough drawing. So what I want to see here is that it goes through the point plus 1, which it does, and the gradient is more than that. It probably will be a bit more steeper than that, but you get the idea. For this one, it's the green line. Luckily, I've got a better green marker now. This goes through the point negative 2, so negative 1, negative 2 would be probably around here, so negative 2. And I can see here that it's a negative 1/3, so if this was a positive gradient for positive 1, then negative 1 would be there, and because this is a negative 3, it's going to be a lot steeper. Again, this is just guessing. Hopefully I can hit this. There we go. It's going to look something like this. So it's just a rough idea. 1, I know it's a negative gradient because it's going down that way. And it also goes to the point negative 4. Now I see a problem with this one. I need negative 4, but because it's a rough draft, I'm just gonna, where's my brown? I'm just gonna, let's see, how much space do I have? I'll extend this a bit. Obviously I have to go through negative 4. I know it's not going to be according to scale. Let's just do that. Choop, choop, choop. So there's like a break in scale, and then this is going to be negative 4. So this one has a gradient of a half. So if this was a gradient of 1, this one would be half, so it would be less. So it's probably going to be something like this. Okay, so if this seems overwhelming for you, like how did I do this so quickly, it's probably a good idea to do a lot more examples of this. It would become second nature for you, but this is, again, it's rough drafts, and it's just understanding that the gradient changes, well, this kind of shape. So these are all positive gradients, and then these would become negative gradients. And the +1 and the -1, that just moves the line up and down. So if I had a +10, it would be way up there. If it was -3, it would be kind of here. And again, if the gradient is more than 1, it's steeper till we get like this gradient, and then there it becomes negative and obviously smaller. And there it kind of again flips over to a positive gradient once we go there. Okay.